Now moving to Kogi State, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed Usman Ododo as the duly elected governor of Kogi State. In the judgments delivered by a three-member panel, the appellate court dismissed the petition filed by the Social Democratic Party and Murtala Ajaka, its governorship candidate. Here is more to the story.
Candidate Murtala Yakubu Ajaka. The appellate court, while resolving all four grounds of appeal against the Social Democratic Party (SDP) and its governorship candidate Murtala Ajaka, held that the petitioners failed to prove all the allegations in their petition beyond a reasonable doubt. The appellate court also held that the issue of alleged certificate forgery ought to have commenced at a federal high court as a pre-election matter. Consequently, Ododo's election as governor was upheld by the courts. Satisfied with the judgment, lead counsel to the appellant, Pius Akubus, says while he remains surprised by the verdict at the Court of Appeal, he is optimistic that the Supreme Court will step in to redeem the situation.
Wisdom of the Court of Appeal, they said that's the pre-election issue. But I must add to that, both the second respondent, the candidate of APC and APC itself, also filed two separate cross appeals. We challenged those two appeals, cross appeals, and those cross appeals were dismissed. So on one hand, the appeal of the appellants, SDP and its candidate, was dismissed, while on the other, the two separate appeals of APC and its candidate were also dismissed. We believe that this may not be the end of the story, because democracy in our country is on crutches. It requires redemption, and we are hopeful that the final court of the land will step in and redeem the situation.
Meanwhile, Paul Daudo, counsel to the respondent, applauded the verdict of appeal court, says all issues raised by the Social Democratic Party were all to have been raised within 14 days of the publication of the nomination.
All issues regarding the appeal were resolved in favor of the second respondent. From the erudite judgment, you can see that he was adjudged to have been qualified, and all the issues raised by the appellants, that is the SDP and their candidates, were pre-election issues tied to the nomination form which is submitted. And all those issues ought to have been raised within 14 days of the publication of the nomination, which they failed to do. In any event, we were not able to even bring evidence to show what was presented and whether the document qualifies as a certificate for the purposes of the Constitution. Then on the issue of non-compliance, they hinge all their case on a witness who testified without a witness deposition from the authorities of Peter Obi and all the series of cases of the Supreme Court, which are quite clear on the point that a witness who does not testify with a front-loaded deposition is not a competent witness. Whether the trial court was at judgment, realized it made an error in admitting the document, it can expunge same at any time.
For Abdullahi Benlo, chairman Kogi State chapter of APC, the mandate given by the people to the governor has been reclaimed.
And I think I'm quite pleased with the outcome of the judgment. Last week we were all here and I said I have confidence in the judiciary of this country because it has really vindicated the mandate of Ahmed Usman Ododo that was freely given November 11 by the people of Kogi State.
Recall that SDP and its candidate had challenged the outcome of the November governorship election. Ajaka approached the tribunal seeking an overturn of the election results and an order directing INEC to conduct a fresh election in about 5 local government areas. The SDP and its candidate challenged the poll on the grounds of alleged forgery, voting, and non-compliance to the Electoral Act.